MK2 was great and stuff, but I really didn't want us to just do the same game with prettier graphics.
We were always trying to one-up what we did. Like, obviously, MK1, we had the, you'd fall into the pit. And that was great. It was always asking the question, well, what can we do next?
Reptile wins.
MK3 was like, now we're going to knock you upwards. Now we're going to knock you downwards.
Right.
Certainly the visual qualities of the backgrounds changed over time quite significantly.
As the story took it, MK3 was based more on Earth.
.3D technology played a part.
I had been learning how to sculpt things in 3D. I created what became the subway, and I showed Ed, I'm like, hey, we could actually just, instead of like going out and videoing stuff and getting things out of books or whatever, or even just drawing them, we could actually build them in 3D with correct lighting and stuff like that. And it could even help us do the parallaxing if we wanted to. He was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's go that route. So a lot of the backgrounds, I would kind of build them in 3D, and then Tony would take that and draw on it and dress them up, make them look better from there.
There's a look that's missing. It looked kind of too plastic and toyish and simple, but it was great for a starting point. We would always touch up over it. That would give it its clean look. And one of the backgrounds that we started with 3D was the soul chamber. I always like a star in the background, and I just coined the name Soulnado for the souls inside the mouth, and I drew that in deluxe paint, frame by frame.
I did a drawing of this in 3D. You can make it any size and any lighting, any angle you want it. This is it's just ornamental, it's just like kind of a really neat background thing.
We would always in Mortal Kombat put in names, our names, hidden somewhere sometimes. And mainly it was the graveyard.
I'm sure that I probably designed in 3D the tombstones, and Tony probably drew in our names. A lot of that grass, and maybe even putting the background in there, like the sky and stuff. Dave Mikuchich joined our team, and he knew about Photoshop. We hadn't heard about Photoshop. Photoshop was new. He took that city scene with Shao Kahn's fortress in the distance. What I gave was kind of stale. It was very stark. He added like haze and all kinds of cool atmosphere with Photoshop. We started using Photoshop a lot after that.
Once we get the digitized image, it's a lot like painting. And right now we're going through a process where we sort of filter the images through. We'll grab the image and Steve Moran will start and do some Photoshop on the guy, and then we'll hand him over to Tony, who does some touch-up. And then it gets passed over to me, and then I do some of this more detailed touch-up, and then I give it back to Steve, and he kind of separates the different colors and creates the different palettes, and then we give it back to Tony, and he does the final touch-up and stuff and gets it ready for the game. I'm working on a friendship move for Shigoro character, and that's her tentative name. She didn't have a real name yet. The move is she's got to turn around and she's going to pull out sort of plates and little sticks, and she spins the plates and the sticks and balances them on her hand, and she does this with her back towards you.
I remember wanting the characters to be a little bit smaller. The reason I wanted them a little smaller was so they can have more lateral motion to run.
I remember having that conversation in Ed's office, because my first reaction was, wait, we should be getting bigger. It's
right.
Like, what do you mean smaller, The hardware, we can push more stuff, and we should be making them bigger. But it didn't last long. I think once the run button was in, you saw right away the value of the sprinting.
Round one, fight.
I wanted it to be more aggressive. I always felt like our walking was a bit slow, and that really was pushing for the run. To me, it feels weird when I play MK2. I feel like I'm in molasses. It's like, come on! I just want to move faster. So. We really loved to see players doing combos, but some players just couldn't uppercut somebody and then jump and then, you know, juggle them and do all these kind of. So we wanted something that was a little bit more mechanical, right? Like anybody can do 1-1-2 or something like that. Right, the whole dynamic of the game is just so aggressive. And some people were intimidated by that.
Finish him.
It was somewhat controversial. There was a guy who was a tech in our, you know, like where they would build the games. He was looking at it and he goes, you know, I don't know why you added the run button, you know, I don't know what that. And then, you know, fast forward 3 weeks.
Nightwolf wins.
He actually came by and said, you know, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, man. That thing was cool.
One day I was in the office at Playboy downtown Chicago, and the phone rang. It was Jack Hager, and he was looking for a couple cheerleaders for this game called NBA Jam. I had no idea how to cheerlead. I said I could, but I had no idea. It was great working with everybody, and then Jack invited me on to the next game, which was Revolution X. We were trying to develop Mistress Helga. He had an idea. He wanted to be like this mistress, you know, in leather, and I said, well, I got some ideas, you know, and I put a black wig on and put my Harley Davidson jacket on and black stretch pants. He added chains and put some labels on it, and he was just like, perfect. And then that is how Mistress Helga developed. That was a blast. And then I just started working with Midway, you know, game after game, and they said that they needed a new Sonia and asked me if I'd like to do it, and I said, absolutely.
I think John one time was just walking by me in a hallway. He's like, hey, Sal, you feel like being a character for, you know, Mortal Kombat 3? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
By the time we got to Mortal Kombat 3, we had a complete blue screen studio, professional lighting, professional cameras, a green room, dressing rooms for the actors.
Hey, get out of here, man.
Jack Hager put that all together. It was phenomenal.
Each capture session was 2 to 3 days. John and I would do the lighting. We always consistently had what we called a money light that just was a rim light. And we'd spend a lot of time doing that because there was no going back with the lighting.
Whenever you're making a game, you would record the data and then immediately check it in the tool to make sure the lighting was right, to make sure the size was right, and whatever.
The camera takes in the signal into our beta cam recorder, and we also run a signal into our PC. This is where we do the actual grabbing of frames to be digitized. We're able to click through frame by frame, delete the frames we don't want, keep the frames that we do like.
Once you had all that set, then you could start kind of rolling into the actual moves and then forget about the technical side of it.
When we started filming a character, we'd get into work probably roughly around 10 o'clock, and usually the whole filming process takes, you know, all day.
On an average day of a 14-hour shoot, we came in, we got into makeup, it didn't take too long for Sonia, she doesn't wear much.
And then we have a list, a huge list of animations, kicks, punches, uppercuts, and then the special moves and stuff. Capturing every single frame of them performing these moves.
Neither Sal nor Kerri had martial arts background, right? You know, they were super athletic.
I watched a lot of martial arts. I watched a lot of, you know, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and I studied like the theatrics of martial arts, but I didn't have the discipline.
Right, and my background was just gymnastics and boxing.
Sonya Blade, there she is. Yeah.
A little bit of WWF wrestling.
Oh, jeez. That's no way to begin a demonstration. Well, I think Sonya is in a little trouble here. She's being tied to a dog.
So I was more into the falls and the suplexes and that kind of stuff.
There was this tomboyish quality to her that doesn't come across when you see her.
Yeah.
And then once you work with her, you realize, holy crap, she's going to do everything we need and more.
Yeah.
Probably the hardest thing about doing any of the moves is you had to start and finish in the same spot.
And that was the main thing, is getting back into idle, getting back into idle. They wanted all the follow through. They wanted all the momentum, but they wanted all that power to come all the way through, like, you know, but then you had to always get back into idle pose, and that was the main thing.
I remember I added like the scrunchie in my ponytail, and we always tried to work together with costuming, you know. They would have like the basic costume, and then they would let the actors kind of bring in a little bit of detail.
Helping John with creating costumes was like this art project. We would go to sports stores and buy like hockey gear and army surplus stores and, you know, just buy pieces and, hey, that works and put some duct tape on it. And Home Depot has this cool rubber piece that we could use for Sector's helmet. And like, it was very do-it-yourself.
But the helmet itself was so back heavy that literally everything that I did was like, it was pulling my head back. And the mask, by doing this, the mask looked like it was looking forward. So I was always kind of doing this with everything, with all my actions.
We wanted it as compact as possible because we didn't want him to look out of proportion.
Yeah.
And so the helmet is really tight.
It must have been torture for,
Right.
8 hours or whatever.
That's where your neck problem.
That's why my neck hurts so much.
I think with the Sonia costume, he was just trying to keep everything in when you're bouncing around.
I think my favorite Sal character is still Nightwolf. He just turns into that guy and like he extends his chin, like he almost like transforms.
Sal, he had no fear. He would just go over the top. He would just insist on trying a move that we were afraid he'd get hurt from.
Throwing himself around.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
loved
just
drums.
so committed to it.
You need to look like you're taking pain. You snap your head back, really kind of throw yourself over. And when you fell, you had to look like you were getting hurt. So I would throw myself twisting around as much as I could at a time. Many times I would land, on my neck wrong, land on my back wrong.
Sal would often hurt himself, or not often, but he has a history of hurting himself, trying to get the best performance.
Didn't matter if we were working or if the camera was on or whatever. Like, I just throw my hand out and, put my hand on the back of his neck and go, wham!
Smack my face
And
into
he'd
it.
fall back onto the floor, and everybody is like, oh my God.
And in fact, I think her and Sal would have like contests with each other to see who can do what better. It was fun watching those two go at it.
They're still good friends to this day.
So if I was going to hit you hard, I'd
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, so it's not the hardness, it's the location.
reactions. All just in reaction.
MK2, we were just fully embracing the secret nature of the game. Smoke and Jade were hidden characters. For MK3, the codes were basically just putting it front and center. Like it wasn't, oh, discover whatever. It was like, here are your secret dials, you know, play with your secret dials.
There's 6 little boxes, 3 of which are controlled by player 1, 3 of which are controlled by player 2. Try different combinations. There's a million possible combinations to see what can be unlocked in the game.
To get the code for Unlimited Run, each player must press low punch 4 times and block and low kick 6 times.
Marketing jumped on that and said, oh, we could do stuff with advertisements and give this magazine these codes and give the magazines that code.
By using these symbols, ads will provide clues to codes on MK3 games. It's like a puzzle where one piece is missing. To solve the puzzle, players must go to your location and play the game.
I remember in Mortal Kombat 1, sneaking in Reptile. Reptile was such a big hit that we wanted something in the player's face that was this long string of digits. It encouraged conversation, speculation. When you activated it, from that point on, the game unlocked smoke in the player's select screen. And I remember in Mortal Kombat 3 mocking up a purple ninja, and I put the name Rain in there. Purple Ninja, Purple Rain, you know, one of my favorite albums. Just in the attract mode, it wasn't even in the game. I was kind of trolling players and putting like Ermac, you know, like Ermac was really just something for me, an audit, like certain stats that you wanted to know, how many times this character was picked, stuff like that. But everybody thought it was a character, so we made him a character.
Oh shit!
For me, the changes in Mortal Kombat 3 were, it was a little jarring in all honesty. I very much liked how 1 to 2 went, where it was, it's everything I wanted, and 3 was, the new mechanics were just, it was different.
I think the Mortal Kombat that threw me the most was 3. 2 felt like it took 1 to the extreme. Everything seemed like Mortal Kombat 1, but more. Mortal Kombat 3 felt like almost like a reboot of the franchise in a weird way.
Nightwolf wins.
And for maybe 15 minutes when I first played it, I was like, this isn't Mortal Kombat. I want to go back to Mortal Kombat 2. And then when I realized I could go into like this insane combo that eventually resulted in someone exploding, I was like, oh, I'm back in. This is Mortal Kombat. This is definitely Mortal Kombat.
It wasn't a surprise to see that they wanted to incorporate a little bit of those dial combo type mechanics into that game, because Killer Instinct was really popular.
I think that was the one that introduced the run button, if I recall.
The run button? Oh my god. Like, that changed so much stuff.
The run button I've never gotten used to this day. I just never find the right way to use it. So I never used the run. So I became a little bit more defensive with MK3.
And I remember the moment when someone punched me through a stage and being like, oh, wait a minute, like the game is like breaking its own fourth wall. And that stuff was cool.
Round 2, fight.
Going back to Mortal Kombat 2 after playing Mortal Kombat 3 with the run button was like going back to Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition after playing Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I could not go back speed-wise. It was so fast, and it felt more aggressive, which is what Mortal Kombat should be.
I got my first speeding ticket racing to go to the arcade before it closed to play Mortal Kombat 3. I was just hauling ass in my 1991 Saturn, which was red, and I thought it was cool. My first car that Jazz Jackrabbit bought me. And, cop pulls me over. He's like, is everything working okay in this car? I'm like, I guess, officer. He's like, well, what about the speedometer? I guess I hit the run button with the accelerator in my car. I think Ed and John still probably owe me $50 for that ticket.
Saw you in the video on that.
Saw me in the video?
Yeah, you were working in your office.
All right, yeah, I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I'm famous now.
Yeah.
Hi, Dave. What's up? Probably out of focus anyway. I wasn't recording before.
Yeah, okay, let's roll. Okay, this is Mortal Kombat 3, and here are 4 of the fighters from Mortal Kombat 3. Our first contestant is... Sonya! Yeah. Sonya Blade, there she is. Yeah. Number 2, Kato. Right. That's Kato. Number 3 is Jax. Yes. Let's go. Yeah. And finally we have Kung Lao. All right, let's hear it for them. They're going to be giving us a little demonstration of martial arts technique. Here we go. We start with Kato and Sonya. Oh, jeez. That's no way to begin a demonstration. Well, I think Sonya is in a little trouble here. She's being tied to a dog. A fate that shouldn't befall anyone. Kato is swelling with pride. He's proud of himself. Yeah. Who will save Sonya? Who will? Ooh, Kung Lao. Lost his path. Pretty even match. Several punches below the belt there. Ooh, it's Jax. Maybe he'll save Sonya. And Jax saved the day. All right, let's hear it for all of our Mortal Kombat characters. We have Sonya, Kung Lao, Jax, and Kato. Well, we did have Kato. Once we had Kato. Now we have a shell of a man. Let's hear it for him one more time, the Mortal Kombat characters. Thanks, guys. I should let you know that this is the year of Mortal Kombat 3, really. There'll be a lot more than just this game, as if that's not enough. This is really the first element of the year of Mortal Kombat. It begins really today. In addition to this, there will be a making of Mortal Kombat tape that comes out in June. In July, there will be an animated feature that comes out. In August, there will be a feature-length film that comes out from the producers of Terminator 2. In September, there will be a live tour that kicks off. It'll go all around the globe and hit more than 200 cities. Also, operators who purchase this game will be getting a free ROM update. that will include special new characters, special secret codes, special new backgrounds, and all of that will be coming in September. That will be a free ROM update. But right now we'll get Ed Boon and John Tobias over here. Hey Ed, John. And they're going to give us a little demonstration of Mortal Kombat. Ed will explain a little bit more about the codes that we talked about and how those feed everything back into the game.
First, I guess we'll start off with an explanation of the game when you start. A one-player map, you notice here there's 3 towers, 3 different heights, for 3 different degrees of difficulty. You know, a lot of people, some people were so good at Mortal Kombat they would be able to go through the whole game in 1 quarter. Other people couldn't get past the first guy. So we basically set up 3 different levels of difficulty to allow the players who are advancing to higher levels. The tallest one also has a lot more capability of characters, etc. Different about this one than the previous one, Mortal Kombat 3. Thank you, Kato.
So, who's Judge Bias?
Hey people, what Jim just mentioned, that our code system is something, no, actually here's a fatality. What Jim was just talking about was the code system that we put into the game that you can access through the Versus screen in a 2-player game. And what these codes do is they enable the player to get to different variations on playing the game. There's all sorts of things like this buried into the game. Again, accessible through the secret codes. And as I was saying, the codes are hitting all over the place in ads, in the motion picture. The new light's coming out, and that'll be released in August, and that's a $40 million motion picture.
Mortal Kombat rock!
Before it all began, there was the void that contained the essence of everything. Within the void existed the gods who created the universe, except for one. He was not of the gods, but remained apart, and dwelled in a terrible place called the Outworld.
Whose idea was Mortal Kombat?
The initial idea,
I woke up.
My name is David Mikic, and I'm a graphic artist. My name's Dan Ford, and I do sounds and music. And those people.
My name is Ed Boone. I'm co-designer and programmer.
My name's Tony Goski, and I do backgrounds and special effects.
John Vogel, backgrounds, special effects.
John Tobias, and co-designer and lead artist.
Steve Moran, and I'm a video artist.
Our motto in Williams is always that reality is boring. Nobody wants to pay for reality. We take everything beyond reality to the point where it's, the only way to do this is through our video game.
It's the perfect blending of everything. I mean, the game is fun to play. It's got good graphics, and it's got a decent backstory to it.
It's easy to come up with the ideas, anybody can come up with ideas for games and stuff, but it's to actually convert something from an idea in your head into reality, into something that is a sellable product. That's where the challenge is.
It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion.
This is sort of the very first concept of the story. This guy here eventually became Shang Tsung.
The mystique and all that whole feeling of it was really, the foundation of that was really what John Tobias kind of envisioned.
One thing Mortal Kombat does for all of us is it puts you in a mood or puts you in a setting where you're sort of able to create things that are surreal. Mortal Kombat 1 took place more, on an earthly environment, in an Asian type of setting. In part 2, we knew that we were going to send our characters to sort of a different world, and so the door was completely open for us to kind of interpret that in any way we wanted.
Mortal Kombat 3 has so much hidden stuff, it's just endless, it's just the amount of stuff that we packed in there.
Okay, come here. I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I'm going to show you a move, okay? Listen. Go back, forward, back, and then down. And then push the run button. And if you do that really fast, I'll be your friend forever.
The button and joystick combinations were the expected. You know, everybody would start looking for them immediately. And that's when I believe Ed came up with this whole sort of combination lock system.
There's 6 little boxes, 3 of which are controlled by player 1, 3 of which are controlled by player 2. Try different combinations of those 6. There's a million possible combinations to see what can be unlocked in the game.
Well, we test the games. When it comes close to the time that the game is done, they have us come in and we just play it. We play them all day long and look for bugs.
The difference between Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3 is that it added a run button. And when you use the run button, it makes you aggressive towards your opponent. You're gonna have to keep on using the run over and over and over to attack your opponent.
What we're gonna show you now is a few simple combos that'll get you started playing. A lot of characters have a simple combo with kicks, which usually involves three presses of the same button. Like Cyrax has, you press high kick twice and then back and high kick for the final hit. He does 3 hits and knocks the opponent away.
My favorite move would probably be Kano's chokehold. It'll be down towards low punch.
One of my favorite codes is disable blocking. Each player presses block twice when the code things come up on the screen. And it turns off blocking, so you can't be a defensive player. You have to play offensively or you're going to lose, because there's no way you can block anybody's hits.
I'm the MK3 kid. I did the Nightmare black and white spot, the whole eye thing. And then I also did the color stomach spot, also known as Blackbirds, actually.
In the TV commercial for the home game, there are codes hidden in, you know, background objects or, you know, a wall or a fence or something like that.
I'll be walking down the halls of my school, and I'll hear from one end to the other, you know, Mortal Kombat. We started at 8 in the morning, and there were actually 2 directors. I got in, and it took them about 2.5 hours to get all the lighting set. They were moving pieces around, checking different lighting, which kind of strobes to put where. I couldn't move, because if I moved, the angles on my face would mess up the light.
All right, here we go. Quiet, please. Roll tape.
And he'd talk me through different emotional states, and okay, you're being chased, you're being scared, now you're turning around and you're fighting this creature, so look angry while you're moving your eyes and twitch and wake up! And then he'd spaz and I'd have to open my eyes.
Crackling good. And then there's John Vogel. He did backgrounds for part 1. He did some stop motion animation stuff for part 2, and he did some backgrounds in part 3.
He worked on backgrounds along with Tony Goski.
Tony's probably one of the most respected artists in this department. He's probably, you know, probably one of the best artists in any industry, and he conceptualizes backgrounds as well.
This is the Soul Chamber, and this is where be a Soulnado.
He never ceases to amaze us. Steve Baran worked on Mortal Kombat 3. That was the first one he worked on, and he did the character graphics with John Tobias.
I like doing stuff that's actually kind of shocking. Not so much violent or anything, but just stuff that gets a reaction.
Dave Mikicic, he's like our resident 3D expert. He kind of got everybody up to speed on doing 3D stuff, and he can crank out anything using a 3D program faster than anybody in the world.
I was in Ed Boon's office the other day. I picked this up from his trash can. It says, for smoke, the ultimate combat code is 10902-22234. Then back, low punch. Shh.
Yummy.
It's important for Mortal Kombat fame.
Dan shows you cool stuff every couple of days. He just comes in and you go, great, this is awesome.
And he's a lot like Ed, where I just have this confidence that, you know, he's going to go away and come back with something spectacular.
That's the Johnny Cage Nut Crunch, I believe.
Didn't someone make a candy bar, Johnny Cage Nut Crunch bar?
John Tobias and some of the other guys from the Mortal Kombat team happened to just come up to me and, you know, kind of poke on my arm and say, do you want to do a character? And I said, I don't know, can I do a character? And he said, yeah, I would love to have you.
People don't realize that there is a lot of work done in the actual characters and their costumes. I've never asked John for a character that looks like something. He shows me something and says, what do you think of that? And I go, that's great.
See, the inspiration, I think, for a lot of the characters come from all over the place. I mean, they come from movies I've seen when I was a kid. They come from books I've read. I mean, everybody gets inspiration from somewhere.
I started out with NBA Jam as a cheerleader, and then I went to Revolution X as Mistress Helga, and they asked me to do Mortal Kombat. They needed me Sonya, so I said, sure, I'd love to do it.
Pizza man.
When I was a character here, that sort of like funded me going to school, because I wanted to be an artist like all my life.
As with all the Mortal Kombat games, the characters are definitely the most interesting of any fighting game.
Hey, get out of here, man. It's supposed to be
Between Sector and Raiden, who would win?
Raiden would win.
Sector's got it in the bag.
Raiden would win.
Don't even try that. That's totally got it in the bag.
No, get your head. We're going to settle this outside, man. Oh, I'm good for it now, buddy.
Come on. Come on, pal. Come on.
Well, let's see, a character would probably first start with me sitting down, staring at a blank wall for a little while, and then after a while, something will hit me and I'll just start sketching around different ideas.
We went months and months not having names for these characters, and then we'd have these powwow sessions where everybody would kind of throw out names.
Shang Tsung.
Look at that side.
Hey, you know where Shang Tsung? What's the combinations for Shang Tsung?
We made it as a military prototype. And the other one was just like a security guard at a mall that didn't work out right.
Cybot X11.
There goes XLS. See, anything with X is cool. I like XLS.
There it goes.
Cybot. That's the bias backwards.
Yeah, no, but I think it sounds cool.
It does sound cool.
Everybody says Sabot.
That could be a good name for a robot. Cybot.
We're gonna have Mayo as a secret character.
No Cybot.
Oh man, why?
DEFCON is overused.
Where?
Everywhere.
No.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah, every time you watch war games.
Yeah, well, you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna come up with all the names. We're all gonna like them, and Ed's gonna hate every one of them.
95% of them, somebody would say a name, and then there'd be one of us, of the 5 or 6 of us, who would just, you know, have a heart attack just because they hated it so much. And then we're like, okay, I guess that's a no.
That's good.
Don't show that to me.
To get the code for Unlimited Run, each player must press low punch 4 times and block and low kick 6 times.
When we started filming a character, we'd get into work probably roughly around 10 o'clock, and usually the whole filming process takes, you know, all day.
Oh, an average day of a 14-hour shoot? Let's see. Well, we came in and got into makeup. It didn't take too long for Sonya. She doesn't wear much.
And then we have a list, a huge list of animations, kicks, punches, uppercuts, and then the special moves and stuff. And we basically go down that list, capturing every single frame of them performing these moves.
Hi, Raiden. Hi, Sector.
1, 2.
You have to do each move 8 ways. As you see, a joystick goes 8 different ways. So if I was to do a front kick, I'd have to do it frontwards, backwards, sideways, and diagonal 4 different ways.
This is why we have the tape on the floor, just to keep them facing the right direction.
Here's the camera that takes in the signal. We run signals into our beta cam recorder, and we also run a signal here into our PC. And then on our PC here, we have one of our boards connected to that. And also, this is where we do the actual grabbing of frames to be digitized. You can kind of see our talent out there, and I'll really quickly grab some images of them. That's good, Tony. We're able to click through frame by frame delete the frames we don't want, keep the frames that we do like. As a matter of fact, you know what we should do? We should shove them. We should have done that from day one. Everybody just, somebody just push them real hard.
We should just, all right, now the next animation, just stand there.
One of my favorite fatalities in the game is with the character Kung Lao, and to execute it, you stand right next to your opponent and press forward, forward, back, down, high punch. And what he does is he throws his hat at the opponent and it flies back and forth across the screen, cutting your opponent up into small pieces.
The day that we spent filming is probably, you know, like 2% of the entire amount of time that has to be devoted into doing it.
Once we get the digitized image, it's a lot like painting. And right now we're going through a process where we sort of filter the images through. We'll grab the image and Steve Baran will start and do some Photoshop on the guy, and then we'll hand him over to Tony, who does some touch-up. And then it gets passed over to me, and then I do some of this more detailed touch-up, and then I give it back to Steve, and he kind of separates the different colors and creates the different palettes, and then we give it back to Tony, and he does the final touch-up and stuff and gets it ready for the game.
I did a drawing of this and everything. In 3D, you can make it any size and any lighting, any angle you wanted. Dave Michich did this, the 3D version. It's just ornamental, you know, it's just like kind of a really neat background thing. But I was telling Ed about the story, like it's a soul cage.
I'm working on a friendship move for our Shigoro character. That's her tentative name. She doesn't have a real name yet. Her move is she's going to turn around and she's going to pull out sort of plates and little sticks, and she spins the plates on the sticks and balances them on her hand, and she does this with her back towards you.
Shiva wins. Friendship.
Friendship? Remember that? This is Shang Tsung morphing into the robot ninja, who we call Ketchup right now, because right now there's a red guy and there's a yellow guy, so we call them Ketchup and Mustard. But they will have real names later on.
There's new combos that you can do on the ground, like you chain a series of buttons together, a series of moves to get like 7 hits or whatever on the guy, and the first one hits, and the successive hits after that are unblockable. Most combos will start with either a high punch or a high kick. You would press like high kick, and that'll give you the first 2 hits, and then you can move to another button, which is usually the same type of button, like high kick, low kick, which will do a 3-hit combo, or some of them can be chained like high punch, and those are usually followed with like a high kick or a low kick.
And then you know what? And then we can give them numbers, so it'll be poop on you too, you know?
Right.
Whatever can possibly happen in the game, you know, I have to program the game to be able to do that. As you play the game, when you first start, the computer's very dumb. It'll just stand there, it'll let you beat it up, and then as you fight the second guy, it'll get a little smarter, and then the third guy a little smarter, and it has to be progressive. It has to be something that's, you know, a smooth increase in the difficulty, because if you play the game the first time and the computer kills you, you're not going to want to play it again.
There's comfort in knowing that the other person is doing their job beyond your expectations. The good thing about working with that is you can hand them some artwork, and you'll see it in the game pretty quickly.
Time! You tell me time!
1 second.
Striker, who has a combo that'll pop you in the air, you can pretty much chase them across the screen and juggle them all the way across the screen, hitting them.
I like the handstand chokehold. Superb. I think that's my favorite.
My mom was pretty happy when I got my job, because she realized I wasn't wasting my time hanging out in arcades when I was younger. But she said that she was real proud that I was making a living exploiting my talent. Another way to finish your opponent is it's almost kind of humiliating, and it's also funny, is you can turn them into a baby.
Sonya wins. Flawless victory. Babality.
All right, guys, I got something for you. Next time you're in a jam, I want you to try this on your opponent. 2 high kicks, 2 high punches, one low punch, and then back and high punch together. That's my 6-hit combo. It's guaranteed to rock the Outworld.
This is just fantasy.
Players really seem to freak out when we put it on test when they would see something incredible happen, like a fatality. You know, just all the blood and, you know, whatever. It shocked them a lot.
I've been by like arcades and stuff and I have been recognized. It's kind of funny. Everybody wants to play me and I'm like, no, you don't want to play me. Kids can write me if they send like $3. I send them an autograph picture and I actually do write them back. I try to write everybody back.
This is how you do Sonya's animality. Hold low punch and get right next to the person and do back towards, down towards. Release low punch and she'll turn into an eagle and lift your opponent in the air and tear him apart with his remains falling from the sky.
But I really do it on live tour too, which is fun.
This is the sound area. This is where they make all the sounds for the games.
You try to imagine the action of playing the game and what the music's gonna do to like get you revved up. Ed gives me a videotape of just sort of scrolling through the backgrounds. I just look at that and try to get some idea about the kind of mood, the kind of setting that we're trying to represent. Now this one in particular, I was thinking, well, this reminds me of Mortal Kombat 2. It's got that very dark Outworld feel that looks like Goro with this green thing in his mouth.
Yes, I do know martial arts. Kung Fu.
I try to get a rhythm going and then fill it out with harmony.
Toasty! Toast, toast, toasty! It evolved from your toast.
That's Ed Boon, pitched down a few semitones.
So, I mean, in the movie, he's a Scorpion. You'll see in the credits, Ed Boon, voice of Scorpion.
Feel the power of Shao Kahn.
You know, Shao Kahn was played by Steve Ritchie, who is the king, as we all know him. Pinball designer.
Flawless victory.
Basically, everyone has a set of speech calls for attacking, you know, punching, getting hit, you know, getting hit in the face, getting hit in the body.
Animality, or animality, what do you want?
Animality.
Animality.
One of the hardest combos in the game has to be Jax's, because it involves holding down on the joystick while pushing other buttons. So what you do is you hit high kick, down and high punch, and hold down, and continue to hold down and hit high punch again, and then hold back and hit block. And then as you're holding back, hit low punch, and then hold back and hit high punch again for a 7-hit combo, which is super devastating.
We do the arcade version, which is the original one, and then after that's one's been out for about a year or so, and then they start converting it into the home platforms, that's where you get the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, and all that.
Well, the Chicago guys send us the assembly source code, and then we go line by line and convert it into C.
They also drop shipped us all the original artwork that they did, all the finished artwork that went into the game and their file formats, and then it's up to us to rip it out and figure out what file format would be best to use on our PlayStation and convert it down and make it work.
We have one piece of hardware that has a particular size of RAM and a CD-ROM, which is in the machine. And so what you have to do is you have to decide what chunks of sound data have to come off of the CD-ROM into the RAM of the machine, and at one point in the game.
The quality on the PSX is better. It's stereo 44.1 sound, just like you'll buy in any music store, CD shop.
Right.
It's the same stuff.
One of the most amazing things I think we found in the game that we couldn't believe was the fact that Shiva was a stop-motion puppet. When we were originally just looking at the artwork, we were just saying there's no way. I mean, we see like muscles rippling, it looks like her face is changing, it just looked too real.
One of the codes, if you, on the briefcase screen, if you push the third symbol down 1, you'll get a new exclusive PSX code. Don't think we're going to tell you what it is.
It's really cool, but you'll have to find out on your own.
What's this dude doing?
Great thing.
You're the best, man. No, man. You're the best, man. Ray's the best. Ray's the rules, man. Ray's the best, man.
Game over.
Everyone's dead but me. They can't kill me. Gotta stay smart. They're not gonna win.
Prepare yourself for the most revolutionary animation ever in the world premiere of Mortal Kombat, the animated video. Forget virtual reality. You're there in this awesome PG-rated direct-to-video animated adventure of a lifetime. Get next to the coolest and hottest characters anywhere. Buy the video and you'll also get the making of Mortal Kombat, the live-action movie, plus secret combat codes and a free watch offer. Mortal Kombat, the animated video. Only $14.98, rated PG.
thought it was fabulous. The show was just incredible.
I loved it. I thought it was way much better than Power Rangers Live.
Mortal Kombat, live on stage. The best family show of the season. Rights USA Today. See illusions, gymnastics, lasers, stunts, and more.
I'm so excited.
The show's great.
It was great, man.
The New York Times calls it an action fantasy spectacle. Prepare yourselves for Mortal Kombat live on stage. It's coming. Coming to an arena near you.
David Fishoff, who had worked on some other live events. We had a meeting. I think we can do the Mortal Kombat live. Do people on trampolines and do whatever, because Cirque du Soleil and some other things were happening then, so David sold the dream and we bought into it.
Next, how about adding a live-action road tour? Beginning in September, Mortal Kombat The Live Tour will sweep across the globe, bringing martial arts and illusion to more than 200 cities.
David Fishoff was the producer for that tour, and he really, really wanted me to be on that tour, even though I sucked at karate, to do publicity work. Pat Johnson, the director, said I sucked. Just like, she has no training. She is absolutely horrible. I can't use her. Fishoff was like, she'll learn. And we trained for 3 months in the Catskill Mountains, and it was 12 hours a day. I would get up before everybody in the morning, and I would be in the gym on the treadmill, and I would show up for our routines, and I had my headphones on all the time, learning the lines, and just wanted to prove, like, I could do this. You know, sometimes people ask me, have you ever been to this state? And I always think, probably. I'd be on the tour bus and we'd wake up in a new city every day. We'd do sometimes 3 shows a day in a city. It was exhausting. It was for about a year, I believe. We even did South America. I remember we were in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was fighting one of the ninjas, and there was this part where he throws me up, I do a back tuck, and then I let him back down and we start fighting again. And when he threw me up, I fell back down, and his foot was there, and my foot caught his foot. So my knee just went. He looks at me with these big saucer eyes, and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. Put me in a headlock, drag me backstage. And my knee's out, like, out here, right? And I go, pull it. And he looks at me, and he says, I'm not fucking touching it. And he's like, you're on your own. I go get me some tape. And as he was gone, I just went, like that, and it just popped right back in. And I taped it up really tight, and it sucked because I had to go back on, go up some stairs, and then Shang Tsung was behind me, and he had to make me disappear, and I had to go down a trap chute. And that was a jump. So I had to like land on one leg, and then out the back with a cab waiting for me to take me to the hospital. And I blew out my ACL. And I was like, I'm gonna finish this tour because we're almost done. I came back on stage within a week. I got a brace. I had to finish. You could not tell me that I was not gonna finish this tour. And I did it.
The way that they were crafting with all the various talent, Kerri and everybody else, to see it live, it was remarkable.
And by the end of the tour, Pat Johnson came up to me and he said, I just want you to know that I think you have balls of steel. And it grabbed to my heart because it meant so much to me for him to actually see how hard I was working. I got a little, verklempt. It was so important for me to impress him because he impressed me. And I did it.
I've read people respond to, like, Ultimate came out because MK3 wasn't performing the way we had hoped, but that had nothing to do with it. We were going to be releasing the home game, MK3, relatively soon.
Round 1. Fight.
So the idea was when MK3 comes out for the home, we'll refresh the arcade with Ultimate MK3.
We were fully aware of the home versions and the role they were playing, and we didn't want the arcade industry to think that we forgot about them. You'll have a cooler version.
In September, when Mortal Kombat hysteria reaches a fever pitch, a ROM update will be available to operators free of charge. When you buy the game, you own the update. This update will feature new characters, new secret moves, and additional fighting environments not available on any home platform. The update will make your arcade game a brand new fighting experience.
That was planned, and so it was part of the plan all along, and so we withheld purposely what we thought were the most popular characters just so that we would give it a bump when Ultimate came out. The fact that it was Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Katana and Mileena just meant that we were able to squeeze more characters with less memory.
Well done.
With MK2, I remember that we had such success with bringing new characters, Kung Lao, Jax, Katana, Mileena. They were so iconic that we were like, adding new characters is cool. And the next game we had 15, so we couldn't bring all 12 from MK2, and we wanted to bring back Sonya and Kano and stuff like that. So from my perspective, I just remember not really realizing how much Scorpion and Sub-Zero were the poster characters.
Yeah.
So we were just like, okay, let's make Sub-Zero unmasked, and he wrote a story for him.
Right.
And Scorpion, we'll just give him a rest, you know, which was blasphemy. We balanced it better. I think Ultimate MK3 was much better balanced than MK3. A lot of people come to me and there's this debate of what's the better game, Mortal Kombat 2 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. There's always this a little bit of a debate going on that they play so differently. But the fact that they're so different to me is what's cool. Is like, you know, they're two very different games as opposed to the same game with prettier graphics.